Okay, guys, we are live. Yeah, we are live. So today we are discussing about economics and blockchain investing. So yesterday we focused a lot of our time on the psychology, and then we were able to discuss things like seduction, and then manipulations, and then how scams actually work and all that. So we discuss some of the psychological bias and how you, as an individual, can actually prevent yourself from being a victim of such. So, but today we'll be talking about economics and investing. So, as you can see from my screen, a common sense guide to investing. So it has been said that common sense, is it really common? Don't know. So the question is, how should I invest? So as you can see from my screen, knowledge is very vital in any decision making. The more knowledge one has, the better the decisions he will make. The difference between the rich and the knowledge is knowledge. The difference between the rich and the poor is knowledge. And then not only knowledge, but the application of knowledge. So you want to get knowledge. So you want to know what cryptocurrencies are. We've not really explained that in depth. We've been just talking some of the use cases like for the past few days, and then we've discussed some of the attributes that makes these stuffs a currency, but we've not really gone in details. Then you want to know how to invest. You want to know what a wallet is. You want to know which coins to buy. And then you want to know the kind of your strategy. If is your strategy long term or short term? These are some of the stuffs you want to consider. Are you considering long term or short term? Just like I explained yesterday, there is pregnancy, and then there's a gestation period, and then there's delivery. So, but you see people want to get pregnant today, and then they want to give birth today. So short term, what coins can I buy today and make profit as soon as possible? So the short term, you could be a day trader and all that. You want to consider the pros and the cons of long term or short term investing. So here is some of the things we're talking about. If you want to, before you actually invest in crypto, not only in crypto or in anything, the first question you want to ask yourself is, have I got the necessary knowledge I need to start trading coins? Now, there are many ways to make money in crypto. I will be focusing on just one aspect today. One of the ways you could make money in crypto is trading. Maybe you know how to trade. Now, trading in crypto is different from trading in the normal traditional stocks. Yeah, though the knowledge you have from the normal traditional stocks could help you, but it's a little bit different. So now on that, there's another group of people who don't even know about trading. How do you read charts, these candlesticks and all that? So there is a entire session that could be dedicated to crypto trading. And then another question you want to ask yourself is, do I have the time? If I want to be trading, do I have the time? Because these are some of the things you want to consider. Even though you want to invest in crypto, do I have the time to sit down to monitor these coins if you are trading? Do I have the time to sit down to search for good projects to invest in? And then you want to ask yourself if you are going long term. And then win-win situations, you want to look at some platforms that actually gives some kind of maybe return at a certain period of time. Maybe they could be compounding the returns and all that, but it's a very, very risky one. So like I do advise people most time in crypto, until the institution you are working with is a certified institution, you don't want to give them your money. So if someone like Warren Buffett, who is a known investor, is coming to offer such a service, you can give them. So though there are a few services that um help people with trading in crypto, I know that, but you want to be very very careful who you invest your money. So I think this option is an option you want to erase off your radar. And then another thing again about the win-win situation again, you want to consider. Well, I don't want to consider the people who could give you, and there are people who give maybe investment advice, like not investment advice per se, but they give investment tips like, hey, listen, um, we could be giving you us, you drop your email here, we could be sending you an update about the latest projects you could actually invest money into, and then maybe make very good profit. But you want to be very very careful what you do in the space. Like I tell people, if you don't have the time, I think you should take your money and go and sleep, because I see the problem a lot of people have is the problem of too much money. So a lot of people have so much money to throw around that they don't take time to study. And then there are some frequently asked questions, that we'll not touch about all those stuff. And then the one I want to talk about today is ICO. So one of the ways people actually make investments in crypto is what we call ICO. So what is an ICO? In a simple definition, an ICO is a short form of is an acronym for initial coin offering. Also, persons call it initial token offering or initial token generation or initial bouncing offering, or whatever name you want to call them. But in a simple definition, it's first, I want you to pay attention to what I'm about to say. Two things. It's an unregulated, and then secondly, it's a controversial way of raising money to fund projects. You want to pay attention to the two things that you said. First, it's unregulated. Second, it's controversial. And when I mean unregulated, I'm not saying there are no formal regulations. There are certain forms of regulations, but I want to say in a broader sense, in a wider sense, the space is unregulated. But though there are certain countries that are actually trying to put laws in place. There are countries now who are saying ICOs, the way ICOs, because ICO is a way to raise money, and there are many ways to raise money. Maybe in the traditional world, where maybe a company like Facebook was actually coming up, there is a way they could raise money, maybe using an IPO, or you have a venture capitalist, and then you have angel investors. So these are people who you could actually go to, or institutions you could actually go to. You pitch your idea before them, and if they like your idea, they can actually say, okay, we'll buy into your idea, we're going to invest with you, right? And all that. But with crypto, it's not that. If you want to fund a project, all you simply need to do, you just have to make the community aware, and then you can issue some coins and all that. We'll touch about the regulation and all that. So if you want to consider investing in an ICO now, what I'm about to teach, some part can be applied to investing in coins and all that. So what are some of the stuffs you want to consider? There are two factors you want to consider. We have the internal factors, and then we have the external factors. The internal factors, they consist of the team. So I like talking about people, because it is people that make up things, and it's also people that actually ruin things. So you want to consider the team. That is why I said, if you don't have the time, this is the fifth day of this course now. So there are people who could just tell you that, listen, to invest in this platform, all you just need download this, and Well, be all right. 15 minutes you set and you go, and something that you come in 15 minutes and you discover that, listen, I'm not properly equipped for this thing. So if you don't have the time, I think you should forget about this. So you want to take the time to study about the team, the crew. So I'm talking about the staff, the people that make the team, from the CEO down. You want to check the hierarchies and all that. The people involved in marketing, those who are advisor, and all that. The CEO, this. You want to consider that. And when you're looking at the team, if you look at the team and everybody in the team, everybody is in, they just have one kind of skill set. Maybe they are cryptographers, or they are programmers or developers. Listen, you should not invest in that. You cannot build a team where everybody is in the same discipline. A team needs psychologists, a team needs accountants, a team needs people who have been in business, marketing, this. So you want to look a team that has weight of experience from different field and they have different perspective on the market and all that. So you want to consider the team. That is when it comes to their experience. Then you want to consider the authenticity of such claims. So it's a website. Anybody can actually put anything on the internet. You want to verify if. So someone is saying, "Hey, I'm Mr. Dix, and I'm the CEO. I was the CEO of this company. I've been this. Okay, you said you want to verify. The internet is there. You want to verify. You want to ask questions. If let's say you are about to invest in a company, and company A, and then the CEO, or there is a guy there who is making a claim that relates to company B. It's very simple. You take your time, write an email to company B, and ask company B, listen, such and such in company A is making claims that he has an affiliation with company B. Could you verify this with company? Could you verify this for me? And I've done that multiple times, and I've gotten some of them say, yes, we know him. There are times, but most of the times you will see that they tell you this guy has nothing to do with our company. So you want to take that time. You don't want to get scammed. So you want to take the time to actually evaluate the team. And then the second people you want to evaluate in the team is the advisors. Listen, if a person is all by himself, he has no advisors, what are you doing in life? If there is nobody in life that you can actually go to and confide issues on, you are just like you are on your own. You're like a tree up a forest. I think it's not really good. So if a person is working alone, he has no advisor, has nobody that gives him counsel and all that, that person is bound to fail. So also with a team or a company that is about to start, or a company that's already been in existence, if they don't have advisors, how are they going to get into the market? How are they going to negotiate and partner with other people? How are they going to secure partnership with government and other institutions or other businesses? So you want to consider, who are the advisors? If you don't have advisors, it's an indicator that the project does not make sense to anybody. So you want to consider the advisors. And then the advisors, again, no, that's in the you want to consider when it comes to the advisors, you want to consider the authenticity of these advisors. Because there are multiple times I have discovered that there are people who set up a website and then they just copy the picture. That is why I told you that the internet is distorted. They just copy the picture from the internet and then they put it on their website and they said, hey, Mr. A is our advisor. And by the time you reach out to that, you have to reach out to Mr. A. By the time you reach out to Mr. A and say, Mr. A, please, I saw that you are an advisor to such and such company. Mr. A is going to tell you, what? I don't even know of this company. So you want to do all those stuff. So if you don't have the time, forget about it. The third thing you want to consider again is the partners. So the partners, as you can see from the screen, is the financial and then the expertise. So you want to consider the partners they already have. Are the partners maybe in expertise or financial side, or the partner, the partners they have is in business or whatever. You want to consider the partners they have. And the second aspect again, you want to consider the journey so far. So I I'm very interested in this. When I look into a team, I want to consider the journey so far. Everybody has a past. Listen, supposing a person walks up to you, you're a lady, and then a man walks up to you and says, I want to get married to you. Oh, there are things you want to consider. You want to consider their past. That is why we do information. You want to ask, where are you from? You want to know about their past. You want to ask them, if are you married? Because there are times if you know, if you don't bother to ask about the past, by the time you get in, you discover that, listen, you've you've made mistakes. So marriage is not different from investment is not different from marriage. It's not different from any aspect of life. You want to consider the past critically, not just consider. You want to consider the past critically. The company you're about to invest in, do they have a past? It's a very big mistake. People say, I'm buying a coin. Listen, there is nothing like coin. When you want to buy stocks on the Nasdaq Stock Exchange or Nigerian Stock Exchange, listen, you're not buying stocks. You are buying a part of a company. So if the company is doing well, it's going to affect the stock you're buying. If the company is not doing well, it's going to affect the stock you're buying. So you take it off your mind that you're actually investing in coins. You're not investing in coins. You're investing in projects. These are projects that are solving one problem or the other. So you want to consider their past. Do they have a past? You want to consider you want to ask the milestones. Where have you been coming from? Can you tell us some of the hallmarks and all that? You want to ask logical questions. You want to ask rational questions. You don't want to be moved by emotions. Another thing again you want to ask is the present. You want to ask questions about the present. Where are you now? The past, where are you coming from? The present, where are you now? What are you doing? So when you go and you see a team and it says, hey, we the whole month we're talking about doing something that's going to take a day, and they want to do it, they are saying that is what you've been doing for 4 months, and they wrote it there. I think it's time for you to run. You want to work with serious people because you're not investing in coins, you are investing in people. So you want to consider the present. And the third thing again, you want to consider the future. You want to ask them, where are they going? Then you want to ask yourself, in the light of the market, is there a need for this stuff? And if there is a need, in the future, where do I see this thing? Do they have plans of expanding from place to place? Are there possibilities that this thing is going to transform humanity? Now, the third thing, again, you want to consider the value that they actually bring in. So there's a big mistake a lot of people have. Like I told you yesterday, one of the psychological bias is what I call the bandwagon effort. So this is basically something is going on. Just like I told you that you go to the market and then you just see everybody running. You don't even bother to ask. It's something that is already in humans. You don't bother to ask, why are people running? You start running, and then later, that is when you ask. But when it comes to investment, you don't want to run, at least take an action before you ask. You want to ask before you take an action. If not, there are people who just invest in platforms and they're like, maybe the platform is not giving, after some time, they've not gotten profits. Now, there are many reasons to it. First, they don't know what they invested their money into. Maybe they are they don't know that this thing is going to take long time because there are platforms you invest your money into and it's not yet time. Why? Because the market is not. That's why patience is very, very critical. It's very, very needed. And then there are people who just invest in projects and they don't even know what they're investing in. And then they are wishing, and then they are praying that what they invest in increase. Is totally wrong. You don't want to be caught in that. So you want to ask the issues of value. Now discover one thing that most times, not that people are not educated, not that people are not knowledgeable, but there are certain things that come in the way of people. Emotions, negligence, or certain stuff. So you want to ask, do you have a minimal viable product already? Or you're just telling me to invest in an empty paper or an idea? An idea is an intention. So how many people today have an intention to do something? Now, how many of them did that stuff? So the question you want to be asking yourself is, am I investing in an intention? You don't want to invest in an intention. You want to invest in an intention that already has a little action. So that little action is what we call the MVP, the minimum viable product that is visible, everybody can actually see. Let's give a very quick example. Let's take for example that a platform is seeking to solve Nigeria's electric power problem. Very, very simple. The question you want to ask, do you have a product already? One of the products you could have is, have you already developed maybe the device? Maybe it could be solar panels, or it could be turbines, it could be anything, batteries or whatever the product you're bringing up. Do you already have a product that you can say, okay, you already have a product, we want to give you more money to fund research, to expand into the market, to do advertisement? Do you already have, are we investing in an idea, or we are investing in something that is already in motion? Then the fourth thing again you want to consider is market. You want to consider the market. So as you can see, the market, we have a business, and then the customers, then we have the traders. So the business side of it, you want to ask yourself very, very, very pointed questions, and I'll be very practical here. So the business side of it, you want to ask yourself the question is, I'm investing in a company. You may call it a coin. I said it's not a coin. You may argue about that. So you're investing in a coin or a company now. Now, is this company offering a form of service or goods to another company or another business? If the answer is yes, you want to ask the question, is the service one time, or is the service repeated? Is the service one time, or is the service repeated? You want to come to the internet, how the internet actually works. There are services you could use, or some websites you could use on the internet. You only go there maybe once, or maybe before you go there again, maybe there is a need for it. That is one-time service. You could come up with examples. Like there are many examples. I can't really remember any example for now. But if I remember any example, I'll bring it to you before the end of the video. And then the last service again is repeated services. So repeated services could be services that as a business you depend upon every time. One of them is you have newspapers, or you have a media advertising company. So we have this the media advertising industry, or the media industry, for example. From the television, we have platforms like CNN. You have AIT in Nigeria. You have the radio stations. Then you now come to the internet, you have platforms like Google, YouTube, Instagram, and all that. So the businesses that are using this stuff, you discover that they don't just use it one time. There's this repetition. There's this repetition. You get, so there's this repetition when it comes to businesses. And then the third thing again you want to consider is what you are building. Is it a foundational infrastructure? So what do I mean by that? We already know that if you want to build a house, you will need a foundation, right? So in cryptocurrency, there are certain stuff that are called protocols. So just like you have the internet, where you have the HTTP protocol or the TCP IP protocol or the protocol that makes the web work, there are many protocols. There are just a number of protocols, but most of them are free and all that. So in blockchain, there are certain protocols that help with the creation of other coins or with the creation of decentralized applications. We'll talk about that maybe tomorrow, or the creation of smart contracts, or the creation of whatever can be created, or the initiation or whatsoever. So they are basically infrastructures that are needed for businesses to build whatever they want to build. So they're like instruments that are needed for other companies or businesses to build their services. So they are called foundational infrastructure. So maybe you have been in the space for a while. An example is Bitcoin. An example is Ethereum. So these are things that these are platforms that other platforms depend upon. So their existence, anything that affects them, anything that affects this foundational infrastructure actually affects these other platforms. That is one of the things you want to consider. So that is for the business side of it. And then the customer side of it, you want to ask the people who need the product you are offering. Who needs the product? You want to consider who needs this product, because a lot of people don't actually consider all these steps. And then after you've of saying who needs this product, you want to ask yourself, what is the frequency of this need? What is the frequency of this use? How frequent do we use this service? Are you developing something like Facebook that has become part of our life that we use every day? Or you are developing something that looks like Google that we use every day? You want to consider those kind of questions. And then the second thing again, you want to consider the product that needs people. So in blockchain, one of the amazing things about blockchain is that people could build companies that just exist on the cloud. Now, what I mean by that is that you could build infrastructure just like Bitcoin. Bitcoin has no headquarters. Bitcoin is no place. It just exists because as far you have a computer and you have the Bitcoin software and you have the necessary hardware, you can be part of the Bitcoin network to help secure transaction and maintain security in the system and all that. So not only that is one of the things with blockchain, we can connect computers all over the world, and you can build a company that is just being powered by people all over the world, and you give these people incentives. And maybe you've heard the word called mining. So there are many forms of no, let's not talk about mining, but there are many forms of mining. So you could build a system. Let's say, for example, you are in the artificial intelligence domain or industry, and you want to source for AI, artificial intelligence, or deep learning algorithms. There is a place you can actually go, just online web, and these sources are there. And maybe you've gotten these algorithms and you want to train um, these neural networks or that, or you want to test something out, and that requires high computational power. That maybe you will need a supercomputer. Why? Because it requires a lot of maybe bandwidth or whatever computational power or whatsoever. What basically happens with blockchain? There are people who could render their normal laptop. They could connect to the internet. They could connect to the network, and then you just pay for the service. You pay for the computational power, and they can run it for you without having an infrastructure everywhere. So the where technology is actually shifting to now is shifting to the cloud. Everything is going to be decentralized. But everything is moving towards decentralization. As of today, IBM, all of us, many people know IBM. They just released that they are working with 63 clients and they are developing over 400 blockchain projects. Those are just IBM for now. Then there are services that are building infrastructures with the blockchain to help with Internet of Things. And there are governments that are coming in. There are platforms like Swift that helps with the transfer of money from bank to bank. Platforms like Mastercard, Visa, and a lot of these platforms building one stop or the other in the financial world, insurance, security, marketing, and artificial intelligence and all that. So there are many things that are actually going on within this space. And then another thing again is the traders. So you want to consider if this project you want to be in the mind of other people. If other this idea is going to appeal to other traders, and if it's appeals to other traders, what are some of the what are some of the things, the indicators that these traders actually used, or is it based on hype and all that? And I will leave the DAO for now. And then another crucial thing again you want to consider is the issue of timing. So most times there are certain good ideas. There are various ideas that came at the wrong time. It's like a lady who is in high school getting pregnant. Is not married, does not have a husband. Some people call it accident, or maybe fornication or whatsoever. A person became pregnant. Now, what is being betted out, the child, is not an accident, but the timing is wrong. The child is not bad, but the timing is wrong. So you want to consider the timing for the project you actually invest in. Is it the right time? Or did they make a mistake? Did they miscalculate the time? So the platform has to get it right. They have to understand the times. They have to understand that, listen, this is the time for this project. There are certain things like, there are certain projects that are going to come up, but their timing is not set, maybe in terms of regulation, and it's good, they're going to die down. So there are times where some projects have, like in China today, there's a crackdown on blockchain related projects and all that. And many of these platforms are moving away from China. And then they are moving to maybe Singapore. Now, in China, there is what we call the Great China Firewall. And the Great China Firewall, it's just like China has now. The history of China is this. China is a nation that has suffered from many military breakdowns. So what did they decide to do? They decided to build a very big wall. So just surround the whole country so that they can actually, they call them the China Wars, to protect the country from military invasion and all that. That is in the physical world. Now, but with the advent of internet coming, China did something. They took such idea, then they took it to the internet. So they built firewalls to literally block China from the entire world when it comes to the internet. So the question you might be asking is, does China not access the internet? Yeah, China access the internet, but China does not access the internet the way you access the internet. China consumes its own content. You might be saying, listen, I have Chinese friends as on my Facebook. Listen, there is nothing like Facebook in China. Go to China, you cannot access Facebook. There is nothing like Google in China. So every person, maybe the person is your friend on Facebook, maybe they are out of China or not inside China. If you're in China, you can't access it. And such regulations, those are some of the stuff that bettered the rise of Chinese companies. So you now have Google, for example, a search engine for information. Since Google is not allowed in China, they have a Google alternative called Baidu. Then you have platforms like Amazon. Amazon is not allowed there. They brought their own. You have the Alibaba group or the Ali. They also have AliExpress and all that. Then you have WhatsApp that you and I use every day. Nothing like that there. You have WeChat. And the list goes on and on. And to tell you how this thing is so deep, the president or the CEO of Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, he's married to a Chinese. He is married to a Chinese lady. He tried many times to actually befriend the Chinese government so that they could actually grant access. Nothing. So you want to consider those kind of stuff. There are certain things that will not work in certain places due to the timing when it comes to regulations or due to locations and all that. And then you yourself again, you want to estimate the right timing for investing in projects. You want to know when to come in. You want to know when to pull out. And then another thing again, you want to consider when investing in platforms when it comes to ICOs and all that. You want to consider the exchanges. So an exchange is a company. Exchange is basically a way where you get into the cryptocurrency world. So there are two forms of it. You have the fiat gateway. So these are companies that help you buy Bitcoin or Ethereum. So these are currencies that are needed by you to actually buy other cryptocurrencies. Then the other form of exchange, you have the altcoin gateway, alternative cryptocurrencies gateway. So these are currencies that don't accept your normal dollars or naira or whatever. They only accept the Bitcoin you bought from the first exchange, which is the fiat gateway. Then they could enable you buy others. So you want to put that in your mind. So there are two exchanges. One of them you can buy Bitcoin in Ethereum. Just you can only buy maybe 2 or 4 currency, and then there are others that after you've bought with your dollars, those 2 or 4 cryptocurrencies, you can then use those cryptocurrencies as money to buy from other currencies. So buy other cryptocurrencies. So the second example I gave you now, don't accept cash and all that. So in relation to that, you want to consider the issues of the volume of transactions. So when you after you've considered all the many stuff I've said, the team, the journey, the value, timing. You want to consider, okay, let's say for an ICU, where are they listing? What exchange are they selling them? Or a particular coin, which exchange is selling them? There are certain times where, because a coin is not listed in a very good exchange, it's going to affect. So you want to consider the exchange. Does the exchange, the volume of transactions on a daily basis, is it very high? Is it an exchange that is trading, that is very, very liquid, that is trading much money on a daily basis, or just an exchange that nobody knows? So you want to consider that it's like comparing a New York exchange to another exchange. So you see the New York exchange is a very, very big exchange. And then you want to consider the quantity. So that means that how many of these coins are being listed there? Do you have a very high majority? Then the third thing again, you want to consider the quality of the project that are being listed there. So you see those there are some exchange for a particular project to get listed there. They will bring something like, maybe they'll post on their website and they'll have something like 10 different coins. And then they tell you that we are going to vote. So yeah, the community decides it. That is one of the things. So everybody's going to vote. So there are different parameters they actually use to vote. So one of the things that they tell you, that for you to be able to vote, first, these are the parameters. You have to vote with certain amount of money. Yeah, everybody votes certain amount of money. Now the candidates you vote for, if they don't win, you lose your money. That is you are just doing that for just so that garbage do not come in, because there are times here there are some projects that you can't find the team on the website, you can't do anything on the website, and it's just empty garbage. So you want to consider the quality of the coins that are listed there. The second thing you want to ask yourself is disruptiveness. You want to ask, if will it disrupt the space? Will it disrupt the space? Is it going to disrupt the market? Is it going to disrupt the community? Is this something that people have been praying for? Is this something that is going to push? Is this something that is going to give existing platforms a tough time? Because it is business. Is this something that when it comes, a lot of people are going to be, is it going to put people on their toes? And then another thing again, you want to check the issues of patents and copyrights. So if a platform has patents, that tells you that the platform is not a platform that just woke up from the bedroom and then sat down and said, "Listen, I want to form a company." The more patents a company has, the more copyrights they have, and all that. That tells you that these guys are actually doing research, and I think they are ready for business. And then the eighth thing again, you want to consider, there are other miscellaneous things you want to consider, like the issue of compliance. You want to consider the country you are living in. You want to consider if it's very, very, if the regulations there are friendly with investing in ICU. So there are many countries like Korea, Singapore, and some European countries. And then you have China, and even the United States and some other countries. There are certain regulations they bring that actually inhibits their citizens from participating in ICU investments. And should such platform, you want to ask very carefully, should such platform breach such regulations? Maybe the United States, for example, that they did not fulfill, not that you cannot buy those projects in the United States, but if they do not follow the necessary laid down regulations, they get indicted. And if they get indicted, there are many times where certain cases, yes, certain persons has been jailed by maybe the United States government and all that. Now, one of the things you have to know that the United States government is one of the most powerful governments in the world, and there are certain times where even the project that is raising money and all that, because we're talking about ICUs now, they might not be in the United States, but there are times when United States, maybe they could be in Japan. There are times when the United States government has gone after these persons and they say, listen, you sold to our citizens. And because you sold to our citizens, we're going after you. We're going to put you in jail. So you want to consider those stuff that whether they meet legal compliance and all that. And then the other thing again, you want to consider the issue of third party. So you want to consider if they are offering this ICO service via a third party. Because if they offer this ICO service, because they're trying to raise money from you now, so they're saying, give us Ethereum or give us Bitcoin, and we're going to send you such amount of coins. Now, if they're offering this service through a third party, there are several platforms like we have the SAFT, the secure agreement for official tokens, SAFT, SAFT, and then you have platforms like Bitcoin Suzy, and then you have platforms like Kick ICO, Cryptonomons. So these are third party companies that help new companies to actually launch an ICO. So if these companies that wants to launch an ICO are working with these third parties, it gives you as an investor more confidence that since they have a third party who's doing this thing, and this third party has had some profiles of transparency in the past, I can actually deal with them. That if anything happens, they can actually be responsible for that, because they are not just going to take a platform and then be raising money on their behalf without doing a proper audit trail on this platform. And then another thing again, you want to consider the developers. So it is one thing to have an idea about blockchain, or you want to incorporate blockchain in an existing company and all that. So we've had platforms like Telegram. Maybe you know about Telegram Messenger, or we have Kodak. These guys that are involved in photography, and there are many other companies that are coming into the blockchain space. Now, you want to consider if they have the right team. When I mean the right team, I'm talking about the developers specifically. Now, so blockchain is a new technology that's actually emerging now, and there are many people who even knows about software development that are not able to develop blockchain applications. It's a total new industry now, and the industry is such an industry that if you know how to code or develop blockchain applications, you become an hotcake. Though there are thousands of people there who claim to be developers, but you will hardly find people who have the real experience and who have built something that is very, very good. Because when you build systems, you might claim that your system is able to do this, able to do this. You may claim your system is very robust, is very, very secure, but it's going to be put to the test. It's going to be tested with fire. And by the time your program is tested on with fire, that is where you can actually reveal the true strength of such systems and whatnot. And then the other thing again, you want to consider the issues of government. Yeah. So you want to consider the issue of token distribution. Like this one, we're talking about if you're investing in ICU now. So you want to ask if how many what portion of this coin is going to the team per se. And then you want to consider how much of these coins are they using for bounty campaign. I will not talk about bounty campaign today. I'll talk about bounty campaign maybe tomorrow. But bounty campaign has to do with all activities that help in raising awareness about the project. Then you want to consider the issue of unsold coins. So supposing we want to sell 100 million coins, and we're able to sell 90 million coins. What happens to the 10 million coins? Are we keeping them, or we are going to burn them? So there's something called the proof of burn. So proof of burn is basically a system where we take certain coins and then we send them to an address. And then, because I told you in cryptocurrency, you cannot